Are you ready to drop your fear and become fearless? If so, stay tuned. I'm going to show you how coming up. Hey, welcome to the Power of Quiet, where we're here to discover our true power inside and our true nature, who we really are, so that we can have real peace of mind, have real, genuine happiness inside, and demonstrate real abundance. So if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. You're absolutely going to love what we do here on this channel. And what we're going to do here today is the start of a series on getting rid of fear. It's a series that we're going to approach what fear is and how we hold on to the fear in a number of different angles so that we can let it all go and be truly fearless. So you definitely want to stay tuned and get to this place, practice it so you can realize how you can move through life with real confidence and determination and create exactly what you want without holding back in any way. All right? So first thing that we're going to take a look at here is what fear is, right? Now, what I want to do is point to the popular acronym for fear that you've heard. And that acronym is false evidence appearing real. Now, we've all heard this, and it sounds catchy. You know, we like it, we've said it, we've told it to others, but we don't fully believe it. We don't fully believe that that fear is actually false because we're still running away from the things that we're afraid of. And we're still holding on to our fear, a lot of it, right? So obviously we are putting some validity into it. So let's examine this so we can get more clarity on the fact that this fear is truly false. So first of all, when you look at fear and being afraid, and you look at all the things that you're afraid of, maybe it's financial stuff that's going on in your life, or health issues, or just events that are going on in the world, things that could happen. If you notice, everything that you're afraid of, it's all in the future. And all the fear is about what could happen in the future, right? Now, even if something is right in front of you, threatening you, like you're in front of a bear and it's looking at you like it wants to eat you, and it's about to eat you at any moment. So even though it's a situation that's right in front of you and you're afraid that that bear might eat you, it's looking at what could happen in the next moment, not what is actually right here, right now. And the more you look at this, the more you can see that fear has no place in the now. It has no room for the now. See, once something happens in the now, then you take action. Now, the other thing about fear that you can look at is it's a feeling. So even in that moment, when you're afraid of being eaten by the bear, or if you're afraid of what could happen with you financially, are you going to have enough money for next month or whatever? That fear, it's a feeling that you're feeling now in this moment. And really what that feeling is a feeling of something that you don't want to feel. So I'm afraid that if I don't have any money and I'm put in a situation, I'm not going to feel good about that. I'm going to feel helpless. I'm going to feel out of control. Or I might feel some sort of torment or misery, being out on the street or being eaten, that sort of a thing. So it's a feeling that's fearful of another feeling. So the more that we look at this, we see that all these things are future-based, and their feelings, none of them are tangible. None of them are real right now in this moment. Again, if something was happening now in this moment, we would have to take action or not. And either way, if we take action or not, if the problem happens or it doesn't, so be it. We deal with it. But see, the fear itself is just a feeling. And it has no bearing really on the outcome. Well, other than the bearing that it'll actually pull whatever's could happen right at you. Because look at what happens when you get caught in that feeling of fear. You get stuck. You get frozen. You get confused. You don't take action. And of course, whatever it is that you're afraid of becomes inevitable. And we'll examine that later on, how we actually create the things that we're afraid of. We'll look at the mechanics of that. But right now, we're just looking at the fact that all this stuff is really intangible. And it's a feeling. Now I'm going to show you how to deal with the feeling and lift it and discover what you can do once you remove that feeling, once you get that fear out of the way. And discover how you really have no problem at all, ever, in your life. All right? So, just take a look at something that you're worried about in your life, or that you're really afraid of. Again, it could be something financially. It could be something health-wise, or just protecting yourself. What are you afraid of? What are you worried about? Now, notice how there's a tendency to want to run away or push away that fear. I don't want to deal with it now. I don't want to look at that. I don't have an answer to it, and it's very disturbing. Get me out of here. Now, here's the thing, and you know this to be true. Just examine this. That any time you run away from fear, see, talking about the future, when you run away from the fear now, you're just going to run into it in the future. And that's our tendency, right? To want to run away from it, or just not want it to be there. So basically, for the lack of better words, we're saying no to that fear. Like, no, get out of here. I don't want you. But notice, that doesn't do anything to make the fear go away. So get in touch with something that you're afraid of right now. And get in touch with that fear. Notice that feeling. And instead of that reaction of, ugh, stay away from me, I don't want to feel that way. See, that doesn't do anything. That doesn't get rid of the fear. So let's try something different. Now, just get in touch with that feeling of fear. And instead of pushing it away, instead of trying to be separate from the fear, could you just allow yourself to feel it? And right now, just set the story aside. Whatever story brings up the fear, the financial story, the health story, put that on the shelf for the moment. See, you got the story, but you also have the feeling now. So set the story aside and just feel the feeling of fear without the story and without placing any value on the feeling. Just a feeling. It's not good. It's not bad. It's just a feeling, just a sensation, a phenomena now in this moment. Just feel it. That's all. And just allow yourself to feel it. Just a feeling. And obviously, there's not a problem going on right now in this moment. If there was, you'd have to probably stop this video and take action. So there isn't a problem. Just a feeling. Just feel it. And let go of pushing away that feeling. Instead, move towards it. And allow yourself to feel it some more. And feel it some more. Just feel it. Without any labels, without placing any value on it, without any story. Just feel it. And feel it some more. Now you're in touch with the feeling now. Now, mentally, like turning up the dial on a stereo or an amplifier, you like turning up the volume on it. Turn up the volume on this feeling. Just mentally make it stronger. And let go of resisting it. Just feel it. Just a feeling. Just dial it up. Make it even stronger now. And feel it even more. And feel it even more. And move towards that feeling. And dial it up even more. Turn that dial up to 11. As high as you can. And just feel it. And observe the feeling. Just a feeling. And just allow yourself to feel it. Relax into it. Let go of the barriers, the walls, trying to protect yourself. Just allow yourself to open up, soften up into the feeling, and feel it even more. And you could even try to surrender to the feeling now. Go ahead, surrender to it. Let the fear take over. And just surrender to it even more. And even more. And if it feels uncomfortable, let go of resisting it. Let go. See, all that is, if you notice right now, if it's uncomfortable, it's because you're trying to push it away. Just let go of pushing it away. Just feel it. And again, let go of any judgments about it. Any judgments are good or bad. Just a feeling. And just relax into it. And even if you have to do it slowly, like dipping your toe in, that's okay. Just feel a little bit more. And 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 even more. And just allow yourself to relax into it. You may notice your body just relaxing. Like when you first invited the fear in, felt it. It probably got you, a bit contracted and breathing shallow and your chest was tight. You may notice that loosening up and breathing a bit more easier now as you just relax into the feeling. And notice the more you become friendly with it, you relax into it, you allow yourself to feel it, it gets softer, right? And see, that's because you're not doing this to it, trying to hold it down. And see, this is how we actually hold on to the fear and keep it, by pushing it down, trying to suppress it. But notice we're doing the opposite now. We're just being with it and being more spacious. No suppression. And notice what's happening. It's getting softer, lighter. It's not as strong, right? Even after you mentally made it stronger, you got the opposite. It just softened. So that right there is the start of proof that it isn't real. So you've already seen it logically, looking at, it's just imaginary. It's just in your mind because it's all future-based, worried about what's going to happen in the next moment or tomorrow or next month. And it's just imagination. Now, just bring your attention, your awareness to your stomach or chest and see if there's any sort of tightness or contraction right now. If you feel that, any clenching or clutching in your stomach or chest, that's you still holding on to the fear, still suppressing it. All right? Now, just open up an imaginary window or door right in front of that energy, wherever it is that you feel it, just right in front of it. Open up a big door. And imagine that energy just going right on out the door. And allow it to leave. Just watch it leave. And watch it leave even more. And 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 notice how you feel. See if that feels lighter. Less contracted, less tight. That's a very direct way of just letting the fear go instead of pushing it down. And notice how you feel. See if you feel more courageous now, more confident. And this shows you now the reality of what fear is all about. And that when you let go of the fear, what just naturally shows up is confidence, a sense of ease, a sense of clarity, a sense of feeling more solid, more peaceful. And like I said at the beginning, the reason why we're here is to discover who we really are. And this is a sign of who you really are. So you don't have to put confidence in. It's your nature. And when you let that fear go, which is just a feeling, this is what shows up. Now just imagine going through life. Instead of worrying about things, instead of worrying about your finances, how are you going to make a living? How are you going to keep yourself healthy? How are you going to keep yourself living? Instead of that, imagine going through life fully confident, clear, determined, happy, joyous, effortlessly. Just imagine that. What would your life look like if you were totally courageous and confident every moment without a trace of fear? What could you do? What could you accomplish? How would you live? Just get a picture of that. And see, you can see that. You can see the difference. And all you have to do to turn your life around and live that way, just let go of the fear. So start examining all the things that you're afraid of and what you're doing when you're afraid. Just notice where your mind is at. Notice that it's always in the future, worried about that next moment, and never here, now, where you can be productive and actually do something to better your life. Your mind is off somewhere else. It's off in a daydream. Just notice that every time you find yourself worried about something or afraid. It's always in the next moment, not now. And then notice that fear, it's just a feeling in the now. And notice what your reaction is to it. Typically, what your habit is to want to push it away or run from it, which you never run away from it. You can see that. And then just remember what we did here, and you can just practice this to just feel it. You look right at it and say yes to it. And you can witness that fear going away. And then the clarity comes in. You realize there is no problem. There really is nothing to be afraid of. So how about getting to that place where you know, and you know, there's absolutely nothing to be afraid of. And you act like it, and you demonstrate it in your life. So take these steps now. And we'll be following up. We'll be taking more steps to drop this fear completely. So stay tuned. Now I'll see you on the next video.